All right, let's dive into something that's, well, it's a little dark, but it's so important to understand: manipulation. Today, we're going to break down the psychological playbook that cult leaders use, a step-by-step guide they have to get absolute control. And understanding how it works is the first step to seeing it coming. So, let's get into it.
But before we start, let me just ask you a question straight up. Could you be drawn into a cult? I know, it's easy to think, no way, not me. But the truth is, this has almost nothing to do with how smart you are or how strong you think you are.
See, it's not about being weak or foolish. It's a systematic process, a kind of thought reform. You know that old analogy about boiling a frog? If you put it in boiling water, it jumps right out. But if you put it in cool water and slowly turn up the heat, it never realizes the danger until it's too late. That's how this works. It starts with one tiny yes, one small agreement that just slowly escalates.
So how does this all get started? Well, the very first step in the playbook is all about identifying the perfect target. And that almost always means finding someone who's in a vulnerable spot.
Manipulators have like a sixth sense for vulnerability. They're looking for people going through a big life change, maybe feeling a little lost or lonely or just not very confident. As a fictional example, just think about Anastasia Steele from 50 Shades of Grey. She's shy, she's about to graduate but has no real plan. She is the perfect archetype of the kind of person a manipulator can zero in on.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures that mindset. These skilled leaders, whether they're real or fictional, they are experts at reading people. They know exactly what buttons to push and how to use those vulnerabilities to create a really powerful first impression.
Okay, so once a target's been identified, the seduction begins. And this isn't about force, not at all. It's more like a carefully choreographed dance designed to build trust and make you feel amazing whenever you're around them or their group.
The whole process follows this really clear funnel. You see, it starts with something simple, totally non-threatening. Then comes this intense wave of affection. After that, they dangle some incredible prize just out of your reach, all leading up to getting you to make that first crucial agreement.
Step one is all about getting that first tiny yes. For Anastasia, it was just agreeing to get coffee with Christian. I mean, that seems completely harmless, right? The goal isn't to show you the whole master plan. No, it's just to get a pattern started. A pattern of you saying yes to these small, easy requests.
Now we get to the love bomb. This is the absolute core of the seduction phase. Charles Manson was famous for using this to build his family of followers. In fiction, Christian Grey does it with these insane gifts. First edition books, a brand new car, anything to make Anastasia associate him with these incredibly positive feelings. It makes you feel seen and special and loved in a way you've maybe never felt before. But that initial trust is really just the foundation. From there, the leader starts the most important work of all, building an entirely new reality for you. And their number one tool for doing that? It's language. A key weapon in their arsenal is what's called the thought-terminating cliché. These are just catchy, simple little phrases that sound really profound, but they're actually designed to stop an argument before it can even start. They are conversational dead ends for anyone trying to think critically.
Charles Manson was an absolute master of this. If anyone in his group questioned his bizarre logic, he'd just say, "No sense makes sense." I mean, how do you even argue with that? You can't. Other groups use phrases like "keep sweet" to shut down any complaints from women, or political movements might use "trust the plan" to deflect any hard questions when things go wrong.
Language is also used to create this incredibly powerful us versus them dynamic. Cults invent their own jargon, their own special vocabulary to split the world into two camps. Whether it's Scientologists calling outsiders wogs, or Heaven's Gate talking about the next level versus the human level, this kind of language makes the members feel superior and automatically frames everybody else as an outsider you just can't trust.
So, with the target's reality now totally warped, the leader can move into the final phase of indoctrination, establishing total control over their mind and their behavior. The seduction part is over. Now it's all about enforcing the rules.
This quote is just a perfect textbook definition of what psychologists call operant conditioning. You've probably heard it called the carrot and the stick. Good behavior, which just means doing what you're told, gets rewarded. Bad behavior, like questioning things, gets punished. It's a really simple system that's used to shape every single thing a follower does.
And this control is kept in place through all kinds of tactics. Any dissent gets shut down by threatening to take away the love and status that they gave you in the first place. They use guilt, making you feel like you're constantly in their debt.
And in the most extreme cases, like with Jim Jones in Jonestown, leaders get total control by completely isolating members from their families, controlling their money, and dictating every single aspect of their lives. Now, it's so tempting to think this stuff only happens in these really extreme, isolated cults. But the truth is, once you know this playbook, you start to see these manipulative tactics pop up in so many parts of modern life.
I mean, just think about it. Multi-level marketing schemes that dismiss any legitimate questions you have as stinkin' thinkin'. Political movements that label anyone who disagrees a traitor. Even some high-pressure corporate jobs or fitness groups that use their own jargon and an us versus them attitude to make sure everybody conforms. The patterns are everywhere.
So how do you protect yourself from all this? Well, it's not about shutting yourself off from the world. The best defense is actually to do the opposite, to actively seek out more information, more perspectives, more voices. When you expose yourself to a huge variety of sources, you make it basically impossible for any one person or group to have the power to shape your entire reality. And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've just walked through this entire indoctrination funnel, from picking a target all the way to getting total control. So now that you know the playbook, where do you see it playing out in the world around you?